I was a kid once, but I don't quite understand these kids today. But then again, when I was a kid, the world was a lot different, and kids in general just weren't exposed to certain um, activities and images. But anyway, I don't understand some of the things that some of these youngsters do today. Um, okay, a few months ago, I think it was it was like over the summer. I think it was in Detroit. A young woman died twerking. She got up on a city bus and was twerking, fell off, and she died. And it was kind of like a street show or whatever. And I hear about this type of thing, and I'm like, that doesn't seem fun to me. Even when I was young, like, I do not think that I would not have found that to be fun and entertaining. So I just don't understand why anyone was doing that. Like, there are places for you to dance. Like, why not go to those places and dance? I really don't understand it. But RIP to that young lady, and sorry that she perished due to making that choice. There was another young woman, and well, not even a young woman. I mean, she was like middle school aged, and she died riding on top of a subway in New York City. She snuck out of her house and got on top of the subway and rode it. And I've been hearing a lot about kids in New York doing that. Again, I don't understand it. I don't know why anyone would do that. I just don't see how that's fun and entertaining. But this one girl did it and she died. And I mean, several kids have died. This is the first time I heard about a girl dying. So I think that the media paid a little bit more attention. And she was a young white girl too, so I feel like that it was treated a little bit differently than when it happens to boys. But again, nonetheless, I do not know why anyone would find that to be fun. Like, when I was 12, I would not have made that choice. So why are so many youngsters now making that choice? Even if I grew up in a world with like TikTok and such, I don't think I would have made that choice. So yeah, I just really do not get it. And I mentioned sideshows, but I look at that and I'm just like, how is this fun? How is a car spinning around in circles in an intersection fun, and other people watch this with somebody hanging out of the window? Like, I just do not understand. But anyway, the main thing I was going to talk about is these kids in Ohio. This is really sad. This one little girl who was 5 was beaten terribly, and she was assaulted, and an 8-year old and a 10-year old are facing charges. Now, this happened in Ohio. I did my Googles. In Ohio, you can be charged as a juvenile at age 10. So I guess that's not really all that unusual. But just what they these slightly older kids did to this little girl is just terrible. And it just really makes me wonder, like, what made them do that? Why would they do that? Like, why was that a thought in their head to even do anything like that? And I know when I was younger, yeah, of course, I mean, people got into little fights at school and fights in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And at the most, someone was disheveled once it was all said and done. I remember there was this one uh, kind of a skirmish, a little dust up in my high school one day. And it was right after lunch, right outside the cafeteria, and the hallway would be like really, really tight. And somebody threw a plate of nachos and it hit someone else in the head, and the cheese like sank into their afro. This person had an afro, and it like, and this is the 90s. Like, I'm not. This is not the 70s. I'm not that old, but they just had like cheese in their afro, and they were like, ah, because they were all upset because it was midway through the school day, and now they have to finish the day with like a cheesy afro, like literally cheese in their afro. And I swear to you, that's the worst consequence I ever saw of a fight when I was a kid, was somebody getting cheese in their afro, and like it was like slowly sinking down. But now you see these videos and people are, beating each other with Stanleys, and I mean lives have been lost, and it's crazy. It's just really, really brutal. And so I mean the world that I grew up in just was not as brutal as the world is now. So yeah, I mean, I guess parents just need to be very cognizant of what their kids see, because my only thought is that they're seeing like internet fight videos and stuff like that, because I don't know where else they would pick this up unless there's like a lot of maybe domestic violence in the home, which is what I suspect of these kids in Ohio, the 8 and the 10-year old that did what they did to the 5-year-old. Possibly a lot of violence in the home, and they themselves maybe were abused, and perhaps they have been exposed to adult content. I don't know. But it's all very, very sad. But I also think that the person who was supposed to be watching that 5-year-old, I think that they maybe need to um, be charged with something as well, because I'm like, again, the news media, the way they report it is kind of ridiculous. They're like, well, somehow the girl got out of the house, and they say the girl was lured out of the house, but I'm like, she was 5. She had a babysitter or something. Like, what were they doing? And then like all this horrible stuff that happened to this girl, I'm just like, how did all of that happen? And absolutely no one knew anything about it, and no one knew the girl was gone. Yeah, I kind of have some issues with that babysitter or whoever it was. And I also question the mom, is like, okay, who is this person that you just dropped your child off with? I mean, did they seem like they were a responsible adult that would be attentive to a child's needs? I don't know, you have to question that. And this may not be very nice, but I'll admit, I've been watching the news, and there have been a few stories where the mom is on the news complaining or crying, but I mean, the mom was partially to blame. Okay, there was this one story. This was so sad. It was in Texas. A lot of these crazy dog stories come out of Texas. And this girl found a first red flag, a babysitter on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, she found a babysitter on Facebook. Anyway, she drops her child off at the babysitter. The babysitter has Rottweilers. All right. So mom goes off to work. She gets in touch with the babysitter. Babysitter doesn't answer. Babysitter claims that the boy, who was very little, like 2 or something like that, he goes and he gets out of the house and then into the kennel. So there are like layers to this, and he's like a baby. Anyway, he gets mauled by the dogs. If you believe what this babysitter was saying, she claims she lay down and took a nap for a few hours while she was charging this other woman to babysit her child. And so, I mean, yes, that babysitter is absolute trash. But I mean, ultimately, I mean, the buck does stop with the parent. I mean, the parent is the one suffering the loss. And I'm just like, why would you leave your child at a house with dogs? I mean, even if they were like little dogs, I don't think I would leave a child alone, or a child at a house with just like, not a little child, at a house with like dogs like that. And I don't mean to be judgmental, honestly, but I mean, I really do just question that. And I mean, of course, the answer is money. The lady off of Facebook was probably cheap. And that is why, I mean, women need to be careful, very careful about choosing a partner, and I don't even care if you're not sexually active, keep a condom in your purse in case you decide to change your mind, because you can change your mind pretty darn quick. So keep a condom in your purse so you don't have to be looking for babysitters on Facebook and got to be worried about babysitters with Rottweilers and pit bulls, because money could have helped this. Money could have helped give her more time that she can just watch her baby herself, and she could have also hired a better babysitter, one that did not come off of Facebook, who's probably on some kind of pills or something. But anyway, it's very sad. Unfortunately, the little boy died. And again, I mean, not that I'm trying to cast stones at the mom, but it's like, it's your baby. Like, the buck stops with you ultimately. I mean, she's the one suffering the loss. So moving on. Moving on. This child is in Milwaukee, and she was, let's see, it was on Christopher Columbus Day. So that must have been Monday, I think, the 13th. The child went to school, and then the school takes a bus to the daycare. And the bus driver dropped the girl off at the daycare, but the daycare was closed for Columbus Day. So the little girl, who was maybe, 5, 6, 7, she's little, she just kind of was wandering the street. A good Samaritan saw the child and helped the girl. I think the little girl was able to tell the stranger her phone number, the mom's phone number, which is awesome. I'm really proud of the girl for that, and I'm proud of the girl for being able to speak for herself. But the mom was on TV, like, complaining and crying and stuff. But I'm like, Mom, like, that's kind of like, ultimately, this is your deal. Like, it's, yeah, I mean, the babysitter or the bus driver could have been different, done something different, but it's the bus driver's job to drive the bus. I mean, yeah, they could have paid more attention, but so could you. And so, anyway, again, I do think that more money could have helped this situation, because, again, more money means moms can stay home with their child, pay more attention to their child themselves, afford better quality health care or child care, stuff like that. So, again, be very careful. Be very careful. Plan carefully. And yeah, women that are of childbearing age should always carry a condom in their purse. So you don't need to be struggling with babysitters and bus drivers and stuff like that. You can focus on being a mom a little bit more, because this does come down to money. Which is why people should never ever blame women for being, quote, gold diggers. No, they're not. No, they're not. They are women that, want to be able to have the resources so they can mother and, set their child up for success, instead of looking for babysitters that are probably on Quaaludes and have a backyard full of mean animals on Facebook. But anyway, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. I kind of went from kids today and what's going on there to, you know, I think maybe the moms could have been a little bit more plugged in. Not that I'm not sympathetic, but I do kind of question some of their choices there. Notice I didn't mention dads almost at all, because there were no dads in any of these stories. So that's another thing. That's another thing. So, anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. Women, young women, need to set themselves up for success in their future children. either through a good partner or money, or it would be great if there were both. Also, common sense helps a lot. And again, I don't know what's going on with these kids. They must be like, some of them must be desperate for attention if they're like wanting to ride up on the roofs of subway trains and stuff like that. And that little girl's mama was a trip too. Look it up for yourself. It's kind of strange. But anyway, my condolences to the families of the victims, and best wishes to everyone. Have a good day. Bye.